Hi, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. Today we're going to have some hamburger steak is what I call it. Now, when I bought the hamburger at the grocery store, by mistake picked up the kind that's got more fat in it. It's like 72% lean and it said on the thing 27% fat. I'm not sure where the other 1% is, but anyway. I'm going to go ahead and fry out those hamburgers. Now, there's 7 of them here, and I'm going to go ahead and fry them all out. We'll just have 1 each today. Then I'll freeze 2 of them for another meal with the gravy, and then the other 3, I'm going to also freeze them, but I'll probably use them in soup later on in the week by just crumbling up the hamburger. But after I fry them, I'm also going to drain off a lot of that fat. So, anyway, here we are, ready to go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and heat up my skillet. I can just go ahead and start it out on high. And I wanted to show you what we're going to have with this. These are cream potatoes that I made last May. This is October. And they are the red potatoes, and I went ahead and had a 50-pound bag of them. So I made some of these. Of course, I stored them, but I also went ahead and made a whole bunch of cream potatoes, mainly because I don't like to make cream potatoes, but I love to eat cream potatoes. So, and to make these, I put a little bit of non-fat dry milk in them and a little butter. I don't use whole milk to freeze them as cream potatoes, but then once I thaw them out in the microwave, I'll add a little half and half to them and maybe a little more butter. And they will be like country mashed potatoes. They'll be a little lumpy, okay? All right, and the other thing we're gonna have is some of the brown bread, brown whole wheat bread that I fixed a couple of days ago. And here's the other thing. We're gonna have some of these Brussels sprouts. And I'm not sure if they have these in Walmart all over the country, but these are from Jefferson, Georgia, and I would think probably all the Walmarts in the South anyway have them. These Brussels sprouts are better than fresh. I promise you they are better. They are just really good. And even if you don't like Brussels sprouts, I think you would like these. They're all the same size, and they're very tender, and they only really take just a few minutes to cook. So we'll be having those. All right, so my skillet is somewhat heated up. I'm going to put a little oil in it. Let me get a spatula to spread out that oil a little bit. So what I do with my hamburger is I make sure that it's really good and brown on both sides. That way it will have a really good taste. Make sure that oil is all spread out in there. I'm going to show you how I flip these over into the pan, so I don't have to touch them again, because I had to touch them when I was making them. So now I'm going to turn it down to medium. I put a piece of saran wrap on top of my little splatter screen that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to hold that on each side, and I'm going to flip them right over into this hot pan, and hopefully, I have missed before, okay, but hopefully I can get them right. And I missed. I missed pretty bad. Put these back together real quick. Don't try this at home. A lot of times I do make it, but I think because I was on camera, I didn't do such a good job. All right, so we're gonna let these get really brown on this side, then we'll flip them over, and I don't even have any salt in these. All right, so I'm trying to finger to take the camera off. All right, I have to use the paper towel. All right, we'll be back. Okay, we are back, and the little hamburgers are all good and brown. I'm going to use 4 of them in with the gravy, and the other 3 I'm going to save back for soup later on in the week. So I want to make a little gravy to go with those. And I poured off a lot of the grease that cooked out of the hamburgers. I'm going to just add back a little of the canola oil. So to make gravy, you simply need 1 part flour and 1 part some kind of oil. I'm going to put some salt in it. Now, when I flipped my hamburgers over, I added the salt to those. Now, I'm going to let this flour cook a little bit and pick up some of those brown bits from the bottom of the skillet. Then I'm going to use 1.5 cups of water, and that would probably be about 2 tablespoons of flour and about 2 tablespoons of oil. So I'm going to add just a couple of tablespoons of the teriyaki sauce. So this is similar to making the cube steak, only it's not going to go in the oven, because obviously the hamburger doesn't need to be tenderized at all. But I do want those little brown bits in the bottom of this pan to get into that gravy. So I'm going to turn my burner up just a little bit. And of course the hamburger is a very economical thing to have. However, it does have fat in it, which reminds me I got grease on my little shirt. Alright, so you only want to let this flour just cook for just a few minutes, and it is on medium heat. And I did use just plain all-purpose flour for the gravy. And what I'll do is freeze 2 of these with some gravy, and then we'll have them for a meal probably next week. And the reason I like to do that is so that, first of all, it's economical to do that, or very frugal. And the other thing is it's also very convenient. Now I'm thawing out the potatoes and we're going to have some apples and probably have some of those little Moravian cookies just in the little bowl. Alright, so we're ready to add the water along with the teriyaki now. Alright, so we're going to let this come back to a boil, and when it does, I'll go ahead and put 4 of the little hamburger patties in it. And don't worry about lumps or anything, because the gravy will be delicious whether it's got lumps or not. Alright, so we'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, we are back, and the gravy has boiled and gotten thick. I added another 1/2 cup of water to it because I really don't like my gravy all that thick. So what we're going to do is 2 of these will be for today's meal, 2 of them for another meal, and the 3 small ones that were left, they're still warm. I put them in a freezer bag. They're going to go in the freezer, and I'm probably going to make soup with these, but I also could make a hamburger sandwich with them. Alright, now the Brussels sprouts are ready. All I did was steam them a little bit and put salt on them. I don't even use butter or anything. And that looks like a lot, but we will eat all of those between us just because they're really healthy. Now the creamed potatoes are ready, and the little apples we're going to have for dessert, that's ready also. So we're going to plate this up and we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, we are ready to eat our lunch. Small hamburger patty, creamed potatoes that were previously frozen with a little gravy on them, great Brussels sprouts. Even if you don't like Brussels sprouts, you very well might like this kind. Now, sometimes if people don't like Brussels sprouts, when you put a little garlic powder on them, they like them. Whole wheat bread, some apples that were previously frozen. These are Gala apples with some of the Moravian cookies. Now, the apples have got a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of sugar, so they go really well. And what I do with mine is I just crunch the cookie all up in there. It makes it delicious. And of course that's probably less than 3 ounces of hamburger right there. And we're drinking water, and I'm still not liking that. I'm really missing my iced tea. Alright, so here's my husband's plate, and we are ready to eat. Again, I'm going to tell you that the Brussels sprouts are delicious. And I didn't used to like Brussels sprouts either, but I love these. Alright, so there you have it. This is the extra 2 patties, and we'll have this in a meal probably next week. I'll go ahead and freeze that with the gravy. and we'll have it over rice next time. All right, we'll see y'all next time.